super high.
What's going on YouTube? What's going on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of Big Pat Sports Talk Reacts. Yes, and we're going to be reacting to Mr. Dan Orlovsky, everybody's favorite ESPN analyst on the Giants, and with the lovely Miss Hannah Storm. They have a quick segment about the future of the franchise, and they're talking about the New York Giants today. And he brings up one point, man, a point that's really, I'm going to say, controversial in the New York Giants community. They're talking about maybe the Giants should consider trading Saquon Barkley to get some value for him. He's going to give his quick reason about that, and he's going to talk about a couple of other things about fixing the franchise. This is a very quick video, so this video is not going to be too long. I just want to go over a couple of things with the Giants, but we're going to listen to Hannah Storm and Dan Orlovsky. I'm going to tune in, and then I want to give my complete overview of what the future of the franchise for the Giants should be. But let's get into it.
There are so many needs on this team. The laundry list is so long, but give me the biggest hits.
Yes, it is.
Like the top things that you would do to turn these guys around.
I'd start number one and see if I can get trade value for Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon's still a tremendous talent, but the reality is in the last 3 seasons, Saquon has missed 20 games. As a tailback in the NFL, that doesn't happen. In those 3 seasons,
yeah, see, in the last 3 seasons, this man here, Saquon Barkley, has missed a total of 20 games in the last 3 seasons. He has been hurt. A lot of it is due to because he's trying to do so much, and I think he's so athletic and powerful that like certain things can be magnified, like an ankle, or like he tore his ACL against the Bears that game. I watched that game live, and he jumped over a defender and he just tore his ACL, get ready to go out of bounds, being tackled by Eddie Jackson. I'm gonna be real with you Giants fans, man. They should consider seeing about getting value for Saquon Barkley. He has the most
Emotional, damn it.
If they do find a trade partner, they're off the hook for the full $7.2 million. And if you get a first round or a second round pick for this guy and bring in an offensive lineman, I'm just going to be real with you Giants fans. I think you should consider it. You definitely should consider it. Do I want to trade the guy? No. This is not me saying that I want to trade the man, but you should definitely consider it. If you're going to say that injury problems are concerned, you don't want injured players here anymore. A lot of Giants fans have been saying that. This has been probably the most injured guy on this roster, besides Riggs, a.k.a. Sterling Shepard. Other than Sterling Shepard, I believe he's been the most injured on this team. So missing 20 games in 3 years, man, that's over a full season. That's a season. That's a season and a quarter of another season. So let's see, man. I definitely listen. If I'm Joe Shane and I'm Brian Daboll, I forgot our assistant GM, I'm definitely taking phone calls for him. There's no harm in that. And if we get something that blows us away, man, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm sorry, man. I love the guy. He was our number 2 pick, man. He's one of my favorite players on the team, if not my favorite player on the team. And when he's healthy, yes, he's very dynamic. True. He's very dynamic. True to a T. But there's a saying, your best ability is your availability. And lately, this guy has not been available. And him not being available has that stunted Daniel Jones's growth as a quarterback. We continue to see that shit. He's only had 5 games where he's played with a full roster of full roster complement of his weapons. So him being hurt all the time, that definitely can stunt the growth of your quarterback. Now, there's other factors into it. The system was terrible. The offensive line is terrible. The receivers are always hurt. But he's hurt a lot also. And Daniel Jones gets hurt a lot. And then we had injuries across the offensive line, who was already one of the worst in the league. We got injuries across the offensive line. So what is Daniel Jones supposed to do? Now, a lot of people saying, oh, if you trade Saquon Barkley, you should trade Daniel Jones as well. Well, I'd say this. If Daniel Jones is as trash as you guys say that he is, and these are Giants fans saying this. These are not other fans saying, these are Giants fans saying this. You're devaluing the guy. What can you possibly get for Daniel Jones if he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league? He has a hurt neck. He can't read the pocket. He can't be an RPO quarterback. He can't hit wide open receivers. He can't throw a back shoulder. He fumbles the ball too much. He's a turnover machine. And he just sucks. What possible value can you get for him? You say all those things about Daniel Jones, and then you turn around and say we should trade him for a third-round pick. How? Not to mention that you said some of the same things for Sam Darnold, and the Panthers traded a second and fourth-round pick. And guess what? Now they're looking for another quarterback. They brought Cam Newton back, benched him. So that works against Daniel Jones as well. Then you saying that his neck is deteriorating. What value are you going to get for a player like that, that his own team, his own fan base trashes him? What value are you going to get? But then on the other hand, you have Saquon Barkley, who stays hurt all the time. You guys cheer for him. You say you want to bring him back, but you don't want injured players on the team anymore. One of the main reasons why you want to get rid of Daniel Jones is because he stays hurt too much. Well, this guy stays hurt more. And then there's a business side to it. Saquon Barkley has more value, trade value out there than Daniel Jones can ever have. So it's a smart business decision to look into seeing what you could get for Saquon Barkley. Are you willing to pay him the 16 to 20 million per year that he's going to be pretty much asking for after this year, especially if he has a decent year or a good year, if he breaks out? Are you willing to pay him $20 million a year, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt again, and then what? You're in the same situation that Dallas is in with Ezekiel Elliott, except for worse, because now he's making $4 to $5 million more than Zeke. And Zeke is on the field more than what Saquon Barkley is. Just be real. Is he one of the best running backs in the league when he's on the field? Hell yeah. If not the best. But he's not on the field. So yes, you have to consider trading the man. There's nothing wrong with that. I understand that loyalty comes into play with a lot of things, but this is business. This is a business, man. If somebody's offering you a second-round pick in the offensive lineman, which we need badly, you got to consider it. I'm just saying.
He's rushed for a total of 1,600 yards. That's just not good enough, and I understand it's with the bad off.
Look at this. You say Daniel Jones is not productive and he doesn't do anything. Saquon Barkley has rushed for a total of 1,600 yards in the past 3 seasons due to him being injured. Not due to lack of talent, due to him being injured and a bad offensive line. Yes, the offensive line is bad, but man, this guy's been injured a lot as well. So that plays into it as well. How many more yards could he have done? How much more could he have been a compliment to Daniel Jones if he would have been healthy? Let's say he's been healthy. That probably could be double. 3,200 yards rushing in 3 years. A running game sure helps out Daniel Jones a hell of a lot. It does. Just saying.
Offensive line, but that offensive line is not going to automatically get better this year. So figure out if you can get trade value for him. Number 2, rebuild the offensive line. You know, you just heard Jay mention Charles Cross from Mississippi State as a potential draft pick, but that offensive line has got to get so much better. 3, they have to find a way to get more production from Kenny Golladay, their prize free agent signing. Yeah,
let's talk about that a little bit. As you can see on the screen, Saquon Barkley, 45.6 rush yards per game, 20.2 receiving yards per game in 13 games last season. He was out 69 weeks with an ankle. This year, after missing the last 14 games of 2020 with a torn ACL. So he missed week 6, 7, 8, and 9. So he missed a total of 18 games the past 2 seasons. It's over a full season and part of another season. So he hasn't even played a full season in 2 years. Barely playing a full season over the last 3 years. 45 rushing yards and 20 reception yards. So he's averaging 65.8 yards a game. With him being injured, that can actually almost double it. It should double. We get a good offensive line, that should double. This guy should be averaging at least between 80 and 120 yards a game. Easily. He's that talented. But I don't care how talented you are. If you're not on the field, you're hurting your team. And I will say this: that's some of the worst players that you can have on your team, man. Super talented people, but they're always hurt. You go into every season, you make a game plan, you make your season to be put around a guy that's super talented, that you know if he's on the field, he can make things happen. But all of a sudden he gets hurt. Now your whole game plan is shot because the person that you're game planning for, putting your whole team orchestrated around this person, he's out. Now you got to have a plan B. You got to have a plan C. In our case, you got to have a plan D, E, F, because everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt. Galladay, he gave up towards the end of the season. He was hurt. Tony, hurt. Riggs, hurt. Ross, hurt. Rudolph, hurt. Evan Ingram, not producing. And when he's not producing, guess what? He's hurt. Andrew Thomas, hurt. Barkley, hurt. Daniel Jones, hurt. Nick Gates, hurt. Shane Lemieux, hurt. Blake Martinez, hurt. Injury concerns on this team are mind-boggling. And hopefully Joe Shane and Brian Daboll can find out what the hell is going on and why all our guys are always hurt, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Because, man, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. We were so hurt. We had Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon starting. And you see how that turned out. Pert, hurt. Nate Solder might as well have been hurt. Will Hernandez might as well have been hurt. Billy Price, terrible. Matt Skura, decent. Ben Bredesen, jeez. We have a lot to fix with this franchise, man. And that offensive line should be first. And, man, if we can drive health, I would take that number 5 overall. I'm just going to be honest with you. Injuries kill us every year, man. Every year. We can't even go into a season where we say, okay, if plan A don't work, we can do plan B. No, plan B got hurt. Plan C gets hurt. Plan D gets hurt. Plan E gets hurt. Then we got an F. What the hell are we supposed to do? Injury concerns are probably the most thing we need to fix, man. Because we got some pieces here. They're just hurt. And your best ability is your availability. You have to say it again. And if we can trade Saquon Barkley to bring some pieces over, hey, look. I know it's a dirty deal. I know this guy hasn't gotten a fair shake. He hasn't. I mean, he hasn't ran behind a good offensive line his whole career. But that doesn't excuse you for being hurt all the time, because I will say this and I'll say this again. He was getting hurt in the open field making plays, or a freak injury here or there. He wasn't getting hurt in the backfield as soon as he touched the ball. He got hit in the leg or something, then he got hurt. It wasn't like that. He got hurt going into the open field trying to make something happen, and he comes up lame and he gets hurt, or he hurts his ankle, or he tore his ACL. That's not on the offensive line. What is on the offensive line is he's getting hit in the backfield as soon as he touched the ball half the time after to juke somebody. But that didn't cause him to get hurt. So you can't blame the offensive line for this man continuing to miss games. That's the part that I take not offense to, but I'm just saying it's a little bit unfair. You blame the offensive line for this man getting hurt, and that's just not true. He didn't get hurt behind the offensive line. He got hurt in the open field. He's just injury prone. Just call it what it is. Call it what it is. Tell the truth. The man is injury prone. That's what that is. And if he gets traded, no, that won't be fair. In my eyes, it won't be fair. But business is not always fair. A lot of the time, business is unfair. But business is business. And us as Giants fans, we might have to learn how to separate the two, because when you wanted a whole new regime, this turned into more business than loyalty. Because these guys have no more loyalty to anybody on this team. There's no loyalty in that front office. There's no loyalty in this coaching staff. There's no loyalty to previous players. Dexter Lawrence as well. A lot of these former players you probably won't see. Here in the Big Blue Crew, we like to keep it true with you. We like to keep it real with you. We like to keep it honest with you, logical with you. And all those things point to, hey, if you get a good deal for Saquon Barkley, a deal that you can't refuse, sorry to say, man, you may have to take that, man. You may have to take it. I'm just going to be honest with you. If it could bring you future draft capital or bring you a start across the offensive line, I do it. I freaking do it, man. I just do it. Because let's be real, over there in Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott is making $14 to $16 million, but Pollard, who's only making a few million, he looks like the better back right now. When we won Super Bowls, we did running back by committee. We didn't win anything with Tiki Barber. We made it to the Super Bowl. We got destroyed. But we didn't win anything with a feature back like a Tiki Barber. We won with Brandon Jacobs and Bradshaw. Running back by committee. And that's what it's going down to. The running back position has been devalued so bad that it really doesn't make sense to pay a running back $20 million a year now. It doesn't. Is this guy a leader for this team? You can say that, but we really don't have any leadership on this team. I don't think he's a true leader. But I know he cares. I know he plays with passion. That's true. And I get it. He's the most exciting thing for this team, and you don't want to lose your excitement. You're getting Odell Beckham vibes. You're getting, what do you call that, flashbacks of losing Odell Beckham, our flash player. But I beg to ask you guys, what did we do with them here? Did we win? Did we make the playoffs consistently? Did we beat top tier teams? Did we make progress? Any progress with these guys so far? Just gonna be honest with you, no. And that's the truth. That's the truth. I know I'm gonna get bashed in the Giants community about this little video about Saquon Barkley. I'll take it. But I'm not gonna tell you anything that I feel that's disingenuous, the way I feel and the way I think. We haven't done anything with these guys here. We haven't sniffed the playoffs since he's been here. And sometimes you just need a divorce, man. You just need to break it off. Let him go see greener pastures. Let's get something in return, and hopefully this guy turns his career around wherever he goes, because I'm going to root for him wherever he goes. If we do decide to trade him, do I want to trade him? No. But if it makes sense, if it makes good business, you at the very least, consider your options. Just to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and finish out this video.
Kadarius Toney. This was shocking. I looked this up. Last season, Kenny Golladay had 39 catches. Kadarius Toney had 37. They had 0 touchdowns. zero together. $70+ million as a receiver and a first-round pick. They got to be more productive, and then they've got to
brings us to
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
They got to figure out a way to get him to give the ball away less. That's a huge part for his development.
They have done that. He has given the ball away less. It's not like he's turned on the ball 28 times or anything like that. No, he has to have his people on the field. One of the main reasons why they didn't have more production is because they weren't on the damn field. You can't catch passes when you're not on the field. Then you throw on top of that a system that's not built for that team. Then you throw on top of that an offensive line is one of the worst in the league. Then you throw on top of that a coaching staff that's not agreeing with each other and fighting each other. Then you throw on top of that bad drafting. Then you throw on top of that your front office is terrible. Then you throw on top of that your owner was sticking his nose in everything that he wasn't supposed to be doing. Throw on top of that, your training staff was bum. Throw on top of that, your scouting staff is terrible. You're going to have things like this. I don't care who you bring in there. It was too much turmoil and things had to go. Everything's been turned over. Now, put the onus back on them. Get your butt on the field, stay healthy, produce. Put an offensive line in front of Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Hopefully, they're both are here. I'm not rooting for one and not the other. Don't get that twisted. Don't put words in my mouth. Don't put any ideas on me that I don't have. You put an offensive line in front of those two. Let's see if Daniel Jones could get the ball to Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Ross, or whoever the hell that we have out there. Let's draft a couple of tight ends. Well, a tight end, at least. Let's get a couple of offensive linemen in the draft. I don't care where you get them. Just make sure that the linemen that you pick, you did your due diligence on them, and they fit the system that you're trying to create. And let's create a system for Daniel Jones, which I think Dable and Kafka are going to do. We're not just going to be running the Bill system. We're not just going to be running the Chiefs system. They're going to build a system that helps out Daniel Jones and helps out Saquon Barkley if he's here as well. Let's cut a little bit of the fat off on this roster. Sorry, guys like Kyle Rudolph are going to go. You might see Blake Martinez go. You might see Bradbury go. I mean, Evan Ingram's going to leave in free agency. Hell, you might even see Dexter Lawrence be traded. Who knows? But I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what Wink Martindale can do with his system here and the pieces that he has. Now the defense is a little bit more blunt. We have to get the pieces to run Wink Martindale's system because Wink Martindale's system works best when he has athletic people on the field. And when I mean by athletic, I mean everywhere on that field. Everybody can play multiple positions. That's when his system works best. So we have to get those type of players here. And I wouldn't mind us going all defense the first 2 rounds, to be honest with you. Because if we could build that defense to where it's one of the top defenses in the league, we can win games even if our offense isn't the greatest ever. If you got a defense that can hold people under 20 points, you got a chance to win every game. And I think this offense gets better automatically because we have offensive-minded people in the building and we have people that are willing to work together. So let's see what they do. So that was the end of that video there. So that was the end of that video. But overall, the future of this franchise, man, I'm excited about the future of this franchise. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I'm waiting to see exactly how they attack this free agency because it's going to determine what we do in the draft. Do they go and get about 3 or 4 offensive linemen in free agency, or do they actually have faith in Nick Gates and Shane Lemieux and Pert coming back and playing strong for them? I don't know, but I'm anxious to see. And then I'm anxious to see what they do in the draft. We all do mock drafts and everything, but it's going to get a little bit better after the combine and after free agency. Then we'll start to know, hey, they might go this route. We'll start to get a clear picture of what's going on. But all this about the Saquon Barkley trade rumors, and every time somebody says or somebody brings up, hey, the Giants, they should consider offers if they get offers for Saquon Barkley, and then people bring up, well, if you trade Saquon Barkley, you damn sure better trade Daniel Jones. Don't make it personal. That's the worst thing you can do when it comes to business. That's the worst thing you can do when it comes to business, make it personal. I'm a loyal guy myself. But when it comes to business, say if the Bills or somebody offers us a second-round pick and one of their starting offensive linemen for Saquon Barkley, you wouldn't consider that? You wouldn't consider trading, getting a second-round pick in return and a starting offensive lineman? You save $7.2 million on the cap, and then you take away whatever that offensive lineman is for the Bills, and a lot of the Bills linemen aren't even top picks. So basically, you're going to save at least $6 million. You get a second-round pick, and you get a starting offensive lineman. You wouldn't consider that. Take away the excitement of Saquon Barkley. Take away that you just love the guy. Take away all the factors out of it that's not business. And really just sit there and think, would that be good for business? We have the worst offensive line in the league. True, Saquon Barkley is a otherworldly talent. But the man has missed 20 games in the last 3 years and has only rushed for 1,600 yards in the past 3 years for us. That's an average of 533 yards a season. That's about half of what you want your top flight running back to get. Over the last 3 seasons, he's only giving you half the production that you would actually want. Not over 1 season, not over 2 seasons, but over 3 seasons. Everybody says, man, we've seen Daniel Jones for 3 years. We know what he is. Get rid of him. Well, have you seen Saquon Barkley for the past 3 years? Just saying. You got to put the same monikers on Saquon Barkley that you do with Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones had this amount of trade value, I would be saying the same thing about Daniel Jones. You have to consider it. You have to consider it. Only reason why I'm saying Daniel Jones will be here because I don't think he has any trade value, and he's the best stopgap option you have. Everybody says, "Oh man, we don't have the money to go out here and spend crazy." So you know, a backup quarterback, a good backup veteran quarterback, is going to cost you. Hell, Jimmy Garoppolo's, they're asking for a first-round pick for Jimmy G. Can we afford to give up a first-round pick for Jimmy G? Can we afford to give up a second-round pick for Jimmy G? Marcus Mariota wants to be one of the highest-paid quarterbacks coming out in this free agency. Can we afford to give Marcus Mariota $14, $15 million a year? I don't think so. Well, you want to go get Tyrod Taylor? Well, it's going to be about $8 million. I'd rather spend that on a lineman. Mitchell Trubisky, what do you cost about $4 or $5 million a year? Man, if I could get a an offensive guard or offensive tackle to fill out this roster, I'm doing that. This kid's a 6th-round pick. And the owner came out and said, we've done everything to screw this kid up possible. So why not try to build something in front of the kid to see what you have? You owe your investment that, don't you? And I know you're going to turn around, well, you can say the same thing about Saquon Barkley. Why are you so on Daniel Jones? I am saying the same thing about Saquon Barkley, but there's one factor. Saquon Barkley has way more trade value than Daniel Jones. This is business. And getting a valuable draft pick in return and maybe an offensive lineman, because that's what I'm taking. I'm not taking anything less than that. 2nd or 1st round pick and an offensive lineman. If you ain't coming to the board at least talking that, we ain't got nothing to talk about. But if you come to the board offering that and maybe more, I gotta listen. Because how bad you talk about Daniel Jones, that man has no trade value. None. Unless some miracle, a team comes out of the clear blue, be like, well, we want to give him a shot. But other than that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Trade him for a 5th-round pick? That doesn't make sense. The hell you going to get? What the hell you going to get with a 5th-round pick? For a former number 6 overall pick? Doesn't make sense. It's bad business. You might as well see what you have in a kid, and if he sucks, then you let him go. But you're not going to get anything in return for him right now. Just saying. But should the New York Giants consider trading Saquon Barkley? My answer in total, yes, they should. Because it's good business. Do I want him traded? No. I think this kid is talented. You put an offensive line in front of him and see what he has. But if a team comes and blows me away with an offer that I can't refuse, I have to at least consider it. I have to. Because it's just good for business. Shout out to Triple H. It's what's good for business, man. I know it hurts. I know you guys don't like it too much. And I don't like it as well. I think he's gotten a raw deal, but so has Daniel Jones. But unfortunately, Saquon Barkley has the better trade value. And that's just what it is, folks. I know you're going to kill me in the comments, and I can't wait to see you guys' comments. You know, this is the Big Blue Crew. You know I'm going to talk my talk no matter what you thought. And I'm also part of the Big Blue Crew, and we consider all people's opinions important here. Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe button. And if you want to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk, hit that join button as well. But that was my whole ordeal on should the Giants look to trade Saquon Barkley. Yes, but I don't want him gone. So don't get it twisted. I want Barkley here. But, man, you got to know that what's good for business is good for the team. And when you wanted everything blown up, they have their own way of thinking, and they're thinking about the team. There's going to be some casualties. Some of the casualties we may not like, and some of the casualties we are going to like. But this is what happens when you have a blow up. This is what happens when you bring in a whole new regime. This is what happens when you have to build from the ground up. There's a tough decisions to be made. When you run a business, $1 billion business, which are the Giants. I think they're worth upwards of $5 billion. I think in the top 5 of all sports franchises, not just NFL sports franchises. It's heavy decisions to be made, folks. And it's just the way it is. But that's enough rambling from me, man. Thank you guys for getting me over 1,000. Thank you guys for just showing your support to Big Pat Sports Talk. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also, go subscribe to Classified 3F with Joe and G Nation Inside Sports. Their links will be in the chat. I always click on those links and hit that subscribe button. Joe, no secrets here. G Nation, man, he just brings the news to you. A little bit of a Nostradamus, man. He made a lot of predictions that came true weeks before they happened. And just overall good dudes, man. This Big Blue Crew thing, man. We're together, man, and we're building something here, man. We're just trying to bring you the best Giants content in the U.S. on Earth. But until the next episode of Big Pat Sports Talk Reacts. Peace. This has been a Big Blue Crew production.